Now what, I mean, really, if you think about what matters in life. No.
Me, my family.
Maybe.
My books.
Books. It's a real question to ask ourselves at some point. I think I told you my story about when I died. It was eye-opening, and it really centered myself. I figured out what was important in life. And when you understand what's important in life, now you can start to singularly kind of focus your life on those things that are important. But of course, it takes figuring out what's important, and that's the hard part. You got to figure out what's important and why. Like right now, I'm thinking about just the kinds of things that we worship today. Like entertainment today is viewed as like this incredibly important thing. What does entertainment do? Well, it's designed to distract you from things. Entertainment used to be one of those things that you'd sit down and do for a little while in the evening to get your mind off of the rest of your day, off of work, and to relax. I mean, but now entertainment is like the focus of our life. It's ever present, and even when we're working, we're still seeking entertainment to distract us from work. And so what that means is that we're becoming experts in entertainment, but we're not becoming experts in the things that really are going to lend to a meaningful life. At the end of your life, I wonder if you're going to sit there in the deathbed and just be like, I was so entertained. Or if you're going to look back on it and just think, I never accomplished those things that I wanted to accomplish. And so, in accomplishing things in life, especially the really important things in life, and this isn't me telling you what's important. Again, you have to figure it out for yourself what's important. I can't tell you what's important. What's important to me is very different from what's important to you. But figuring out what that thing is, and that's what demands the last thing that Campbell is talking about here. It says that all these creative acts are represented by deriving some sort of dying to the world. And he's very specific. Why I said at the beginning that I could do a whole semester on this is because each of these words is chosen so carefully. It's represented. So he's talking about a death that's representative. Not a real death, but a figurative death, a symbolic death. So if I were to ask you, for example, and if you do watch the videos, I apologize. I'm going to repeat some things from last period that came up. If I were to ask you today, what are you? Like, what are some characteristics that, in fact, better yet, how about this? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Anger.
So maybe you struggle with anger. And by the way, when you tell me what's wrong with you, it doesn't necessarily have to be what's wrong with you personally. You could just give me some examples of what's wrong with your friends. So maybe your friends are very angry. What else is wrong with you?
Maybe procrastinate?
Maybe you're lazy. And maybe you procrastinate too much.
Over anxiety, overthinking.
Maybe you're anxious and you overthink.
Pessimistic.
What's that?
Pessimistic.
Selfish.
Pessimistic.
Oh, pessimistic. Sorry, I just couldn't hear it. Maybe you're a pessimist.
I had to rethink if I said it right.
And you're selfish. Okay. That's good enough at this moment. I know we could go on for a while. I know. Believe me, I make this list frequently. So now my question is, if you're thinking about the kinds of things that you want to eventually accomplish in your life, I don't know what they are. Give me some examples of some things that people would want to accomplish, that when they're on their deathbed, maybe if you don't want to say, I was so entertained. I don't know, I think that's so funny. But what would you want to be able to look back on? What would a person want to be able to look back on? Yeah.
Generational wealth.
Generational wealth. Something that we just don't talk enough about, man. We talked about it my first period today, actually. Second period today. It's in our video. Generational wealth. What else? Yeah.
For me, it's going to be listening at Mecca or Holy Place.
Mecca. We all have our own Mecca, by the way. Yeah.
Working at Benihana's.
Working at Benihana's. You work at Benihana's?
I want to.
Oh, I thought you did. So we need to talk, man. All right. So you want to work at Benihana's? We'll work at Benny. Yeah.
you're like what you're able to bring into the world, whether it be like a family, what you create in the world.
Meet Ross Land.
You're gonna do this to me. Okay.
Creation.
All right, this video is about to get 10 times longer. All right. What you create. So, that was the focus of fourth period, about creation, and about how creation makes us godlike. Maybe I won't get into that. I'll avoid it. So whatever these things are right here that you want, and again, you can fill this in with whatever it is. At the end of your life, you want to be able to look back on and say, that's cool, I did that thing. So now, my question is anger, laziness, procrastination, anxiety, why do I forgot letters, man? Anxious, anxiety, there you go. And overthinking, pessimism, and selfishness. Are those things that get you this?
No.
Shoot. So then what will get you there?
Patience.
Patience,
Ambition.
ambitions.
Passion.
Perseverance.
Wait.
Ruthlessness.
Wait. Perseverance. Patience, passion, perseverance.
Ruthlessness.
Ruthlessness. God. Ruthlessness can get you a family? Can get you to Mecca? Well, I guess so, maybe.
Being truthful. Risk-taking.
Risk-taking.
Honesty.
Honesty.
What about balance?
About what?
Balance?
Balance.
Oh, that's a
Stability.
Stability. Am I in a room now? Good. All right, so we got patience, passion, perseverance, ruthlessness, risk-taking, honesty, balance,
Stability.
stability. All right, I just wrote stability. Here's the problem, man. Anger puts all of those at risk. Laziness puts all of those at risk. Procrastination puts all of those at risk. Anxiety and overthinking puts all those at risk, as is pessimism and selfishness. So it sounds like what you have to become is the complete opposite of what you are presently. So if you want to live, then that means that currently you have to do what? Die.
What the?
Yes.
Symbolic.
Symbolic death. Yeah, don't kill yourself. I see you guys reaching into your backpacks. Skellen said. Yeah, you have to, thank you. Symbolically, you have to die to self. You have to reckon the old person dead. This old thing that exists right now, you have to kill this thing off, symbolically. And you have to become a completely new creature.
And how do you do that?
You have to create something entirely new. And that creation is the person with all of these characteristics. Now, can you still be patient and passionate, persevere? Can you still persevere and all that while you're angry? While you're angry?
Yes.
No, probably not. You can become ruthless when you're angry, probably. But the rest of these things, you can't be them. You can't even be honest when you're angry. You might say like, oh, but I'm so mad I just told the truth. No, you told an angry version of the truth. You didn't say what really was. You said it in a way that was designed to perpetuate what you presently are. You ever notice how angry people like everybody else to be angry?
Yes.
You notice how people who fail like everybody else to fail? People who are happy want everybody else to be happy. And most people who are sad want everybody else to be happy. Maybe you become a comedian. But no, I mean, again, nothing is everything. But people who are sad, they tend to want other people to be happy. Not even necessarily as sad as them. There's a thing we say, misery enjoys company. That doesn't mean that miserable people enjoy making other people miserable. They just enjoy it when they like being around other people who feel the same way because you don't have to explain yourself. If you're going through a depression, how do you explain that? Well, I'm depressed. Okay, but how's school? Oh, it's fine, I'm doing well. Okay. How's your family? Getting along with them, everything's good. Okay, how's work? Yeah, you have a job, right? Yeah, I just started. So everything's going well. Uh-huh. And you're depressed. Uh-huh. Why are you so depressed? You should just be happy. That's not the way depression works. Depression, you feel the way that you feel, even if there's nothing that's making you feel that way. It's kind of like if someone's bipolar and you have to go through manic depression. You go through mania, even if there's no good reason to be really happy. Your body, your brain chemistry makes you do that, and then you crash down even when there's no reason to do that. But by and large, we kind of want to perpetuate those things. And if you're angry, it's tough to tell the actual truth because you're telling it in a way that's designed to convey your anger, to make other people angry as well. You can't, anger will interfere with passion because again, you're not going at it with a clear head. So you have to reckon the old person dead. Now, if you do that, and you're going to find yourself an entirely new creature, an entirely new being, and you're going to look back at your old self and just be like, oh my God, you look at it the way that you look at a corpse lying on the floor. It's disgusting. It's like, ugh, that used to be me before I popped out of that meat bag and became this right here. Yeah. Now, if someone was like, some of your old friends come through and they're like looking at the pile of the corpse on the ground, like, hey, it's Scanlon. I remember this guy who sort of picked the corpse up. They see me over there. Hey, get back in your body, man. We want to go back to the old times. Anybody want to put back on your corpse suit? Yes. It just sounds gross, You're like, it's like I don't want to be that thing. Man, you've changed. Remember when this meat bag used to, and they'll walk away and they'll still tell stories about you, but you have no business going back to that old time because the thing is dead. That doesn't mean you'll never be angry again. Of course you will. But whereas before you used to indulge in your anger, now it's the exception. Now you actually indulge in patience because you see how destructive anger is. Now, if you're patient and passionate and persevering, and you can now start to accomplish these things that you really want to accomplish in life. All of those things that were going to stand in your way are now gone. They're part of the dead. And by the way, there are zombies walking around all around you, man. There are zombies everywhere in the school, in the world, who perpetually are angry and lazy and procrastinate. And they typically will blame other people for those things. I'm angry because of stupid drivers. I'm lazy because why should I work hard for my stupid boss? He doesn't deserve to be my boss anyway. Procrastinate, oh, I'm tired. All of these things. I'm anxious. Of course you're anxious because you haven't taken control of your own life yet. You haven't adopted these things right here, so you don't know how things are going to turn out. And why don't you know how things are going to turn out? Because you haven't taken control of it. And if you have these characteristics right here, if you can read them, if you have these characteristics right here, then you're not going to be anxious either because you know that even if things don't go your way, you're going to be okay. Because you have a skill set, you have a character set that's going to allow you to be better, to be okay on the other end of some kind of a tragedy. We start to feel like this when we just don't know. Pessimism, you have no reason to be pessimistic. You have every reason to be optimistic, to think that things are going to go well, because you're in control of yourself. And to be selfish, what do you do if you have too much of anything? What's the only sensible thing to do with it?
Spend it.
Give it to others. Share it. If I have a cup and I'm pouring water into it and it's just overflowing, it kind of makes sense to get another cup and catch what's falling out. Otherwise, it's a waste. You're going to find that highly successful people are going to think the same way. They have enough. They really want people to grab cups and catch what's pouring out of them because they want other people around them to be better. Why? Because you don't have a reason to be selfish. You don't feel threatened by other people. The reason that we're selfish is because we're afraid that somebody else is going to get something that we have and then become better than us. If you're not worried about that, you'll be very happy to help other people. So all of these things here have to be reckoned dead not because you need to be a better person. By the way, you do need to be a better person. We'll put that aside. You need to get rid of this because it's going to stop you from doing these things over here. And they're going to perpetuate. So reckon the old person dead, that's what I'm saying. Symbolic. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques?